Jeffrey Epstein, one of the most notorious sex traffickers in modern history, a man whose crimes shocked the world, yet whose protection exposed something even darker. To increase public transparency, the U.S. Congress mandated the release of materials connected to Epstein-related investigations. As a result, the U.S. Department of Justice released millions of pages of documents, thousands of videos, and hundreds of thousands of photographs. However, these releases were met with immediate criticism. Large portions of the files remain heavily redacted, and millions of pages are still missing, raising serious questions about what the public is not allowed to see. Why Epstein matters. Jeffrey Epstein was not just a criminal. He was a system where wealth created immunity, where power erased consequences, and where victims were silenced, not just by fear, but by institutions. Understanding Epstein is not about knowing every detail of his crimes. It is about understanding how predators survive at the highest levels of society, who enabled him, who protected him, and who benefited from his silence. High-profile names and global reach. The scope of the Epstein files is massive. Beyond Western elites, recent document releases and leaks sparked online discussion about names from South Asia, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and economist Dr. Muhammad Yunus. It is critical to clarify, the documents do not accuse these individuals of sexual crimes. Their names appear in emails and references connected to Epstein's attempts to network with global leaders, not criminal activity. Still, misinformation spreads faster than facts, and in a case this sensitive, clarity matters. From teacher to tycoon, Jeffrey Epstein began his career in the 1970s as a school teacher. Within a few years, he transitioned into high finance, despite limited credentials. By the early 1980s, Epstein claimed to manage wealth exclusively for billionaires. His lifestyle reflected unimaginable luxury. Multiple mansions, private jets, and a private Caribbean island. Behind this facade, Epstein was operating a sophisticated sex trafficking network involving minors. Epstein surrounded himself with influence. His social circle included royalty, presidents, tech leaders, academics, and celebrities. Figures such as Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Michael Jackson, Noam Chomsky, and others. In 2005, allegations surfaced that Epstein was abusing underage girls and transporting powerful men to his private island aboard his jet, later infamously known as the Lolita Express. Despite overwhelming evidence, Epstein avoided serious punishment. 426 to 510 justice delayed. In 2008, Epstein secured a highly controversial plea deal. Instead of federal charges, he served just 13 months in a minimum security facility with work release privileges. This deal became a symbol of two systems of justice, one for ordinary people and one for the elite. Justice delayed became justice denied. 511 to 605, the MeToo era and final arrest. The global MeToo movement reopened old wounds. Survivors, emboldened by public support, came forward with detailed accounts of international trafficking, coercion, and abuse. In 2019, Epstein was finally arrested on federal charges. Weeks later, he was found dead in his New York jail cell. The official ruling, suicide, but very few accepted that explanation. The circumstances were deeply suspicious. Security cameras malfunctioned. Footage disappeared. His cellmate was removed shortly before his death. A forensic pathologist hired by Epstein's family stated that injuries to his neck were more consistent with strangulation than hanging. Across the world, a phrase went viral. Epstein didn't kill himself. The cost of silence. When crimes of this magnitude are buried, the damage spreads. Victims are re-traumatized. Public trust collapses. And society grows numb to cruelty. When powerful people repeatedly escape accountability, brutality stops shocking us. Indifference becomes normal. The honey trap theory. Epstein and his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, who was later sentenced to 20 years in prison, were accused of running honey trap operations. The allegation, powerful men were lured into illegal sexual situations, secretly recorded and later blackmailed. This theory suggests Epstein's real value was not money, but leverage. Some investigators and journalists speculate that Epstein may have operated with protection from intelligence agencies. One controversial theory links Epstein to Israeli intelligence. There is no public legal proof. But critics argue that his unexplained rise, repeated legal escapes, and elite protection suggest state-level shielding. These claims remain allegations, not confirmed facts, but their existence alone reflects how deep the mistrust runs. Power, health, and hypocrisy. Many figures associated with Epstein publicly promoted humanitarian causes, global health, disease prevention, and social good. Discussions about pandemics, vaccines, and public health shape global policy. But the Epstein case forces a hard question. Can someone claim to protect humanity while being adjacent to its exploitation? This is not about illness or medicine. It is about ethical contradiction. Missing files. Congressional mandates required full disclosure, yet millions of pages remain unreleased. Deadlines were missed. Explanations were vague. If these files truly contain nothing dangerous, why keep them hidden? The Black Book and Flight Logs. 2 documents define the Epstein scandal. The Black Book, containing contacts of over 1,500 powerful individuals. And the Flight Logs, documenting passengers aboard Epstein's private jet. Together, they reveal an intersection of Hollywood, Wall Street, and Washington with the criminal underworld, clarifying the Asian leaders. To be clear, Narendra Modi appears in an email discussing public relations advice during a diplomatic visit. Sheikh Hasina is mentioned in relation to a diplomatic meeting. Dr. Muhammad Yunus appears in references tied to conferences, pop culture, and nonprofit events. None of these references connect them to Epstein's crimes. Context matters. Conclusion: the Epstein files expose more than one man. They expose a system where power outweighs morality, where justice is negotiable, and where human suffering is treated as collateral damage. Jeffrey Epstein may be dead, but the system that protected him is still very much alive.